There's a simple 2-letter word that could be ruining your photography career. That 2-letter word is no. Now, it's not no in the context of you saying no, but it's fearing that others are going to say no to you. My name is Jacob Wagler. I'm a photographer who's passionate about helping brands and individuals level up their media through photography. For so many years in my own personal photography career, I was so afraid to reach out to people because I was afraid of being rejected. But once I started putting myself out there, reaching out to people, doors started to open up. So that's the goal with this video, is to help you overcome the fear of rejection so you can start landing more clients. Before we get started though, I think it's really important to define what the fear of rejection is and how it might be showing up in your photography business. So the definition is actually pretty self-explanatory. It's an emotional response to the apprehension of being turned down, dismissed, or excluded by others. It can often show up in ways like avoidance, self-doubt, perfectionism, seeking approval, and limiting opportunities. For me personally, it looked like not reaching out to potential clients, not networking or collaborating, and not marketing my own services. The problem though is you can't grow a business like this. People aren't just going to show up on your doorstep and ask you to work with them. I think creators kind of get spoiled at the start of their career because their family and friends do all the networking for them, and they say, oh, you should get so-and-so to shoot this or shoot that for you. And even though that's really nice of them to do for you to get a leg up in the start of your career, you kind of assume that these clients are just going to keep rolling in based off of word of mouth, and you don't have to do any marketing, and it's just like kind of that vicious cycle until like one day you realize, shoot, I don't have any clients. When you're in that place though, you almost become blind to the reality of what you're not doing and why it's not working, and you just think, what is going on? I can take really great photos, or I can shoot really great video, and you kind of have an inflated view thinking, okay, well, I can do that better than so-and-so in my community. Why am I not getting the jobs? There's something that Chris Do said in one of my business courses that's never gonna leave my mind. He said there's always gonna be somebody a lot less talented than you that's making a lot more money than you. And often the reason why that's the case is because they didn't limit themselves based off of their ability. They didn't need permission from somebody to go and shoot their shot. They just did it. They didn't fear being rejected. I recently just did a podcast with Mish, and in that conversation, she had told me that she reached out to over 400 different brands looking for brand collaborations. And she had said that in the time that she was reaching out and sending out all those emails, one of the companies she had reached out to was Canada Goose. Now, she had even said,
there's no way Canada Goose is going to work with me.
But that didn't hold her back from sending out the proposals, and sure enough, they wanted to work with her. Now, I'm not saying that this is a guarantee that if you go and send 400 emails that this is going to happen to you, but maybe it's going to take 4,000 emails. You just can't be afraid to send them though. There's a really popular quote from the famous hockey player Wayne Gretzky where he says, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Okay, so even though we know that we should be taking those shots, there's still the roadblock of fear. So I'm going to give you 3 tips to guide you in the direction of overcoming the fear of rejection. These steps really help to guide me on my own personal journey. So the first before anything is self-reflection. You need to understand the battle that's going on inside of you. You can't work on what you're not aware of. So you need to look at how you're responding to the fear of rejection, and then you can start working towards a better result. And trust me, once you're more aware of the patterns, you'll be more conscious of the decisions that you're making. Doesn't always mean that you're going to make the right choice when you're faced with that fear, but at least you'll be a lot more aware of it. And don't beat yourself up if you give into those moments of fear. Just realize what you're doing, the pattern, and then figure out a plan of how you want to shift to get a better result. Second is embracing no. I personally started to shift my perspective around the concept of embracing no when I heard Alex Hormozy's perspective on how to perceive other people's thoughts of us.
No one will remember you. A lot of people take a lot of work and stress a lot about what other people think about them. Other people's opinions don't matter as much as I think they do. For me, reminding myself that I'm insignificant and in the long and eventual universal scale am irrelevant allows me to look at my failures and laugh a little bit. Rather than say, this is the end of the world, it's really, on a 500 million year time horizon, I am a being that exists for a blip of time and then will disappear from existence.
So if others' opinions of us won't matter in the next year, decade, century, then why should they matter right now? Trust me, I know that it's easier said than done because I personally had to face this internal battle and this internal struggle. But I would just constantly remind myself of this before every single interaction. A really great way to dip your toe in the water is by sending out pitch emails. And then once you survive that and you realize that it's not this big catastrophic thing, then maybe you could start making cold calls and maybe even going into businesses and talking with owners. I think that if you've been giving into this pattern of fear for such a long time, it's going to be a really difficult cycle to break. So you need to chunk this down into small actionable steps that you can can take today, then progressively move on to different strategies. And if there is rejection, then look at it through the lens that they're saying no to the service, not to me as a person. It's really important to detach yourself and your self-worth from your business. The third tip to overcoming the fear of rejection is to build resilience. When I started reaching out to people, I was doing cold calls, and after every single cold call, I would mark down that I did a call and what the response was. When you start adding in a metric of how many reach outs you've done, you can really look back and see how far you've come. And even if it is only 10 phone calls, emails, or DMs, you can look back at the end of the day and say, wow, I really put myself out there to 10 people today. And even if you don't get a response, you'll know that at the end of the day, you're putting in that hard work that will result in getting clients. The more reps you put in, even if small at the start, is really going to help to build your confidence. And then sending off an email with your proposal is really going to seem like nothing. There's a quote that I heard, and I can't remember exactly who said it, but it read something like this: someone else's no is just an open door to the life that you can finally say yes to. Sometimes in life, the things that we wish people would say yes to wouldn't be the right opportunities for us because maybe we wouldn't be ready, or maybe that working relationship wouldn't be a great fit for us. So rejection can be a positive thing. It just depends on what lens you want to see it through. So just remember that no matter who you reach out to, their no is not the end. Keep pressing on and pushing past the no's. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.